how to reverse a fatty liver. In this video, we are going to be covering, firstly, can you reverse a fatty liver? Why is fatty liver exploding? How to fix a fatty liver? And action items that you can get started with. I am Junior Gupta, the founder of LifeHeal, where we look at new research around reversing chronic metabolic diseases and how to implement them in your life. Please note that I am a guy on YouTube giving you my opinion. Please be responsible for your own health decisions. Can you reverse fatty liver? Yes, fatty liver can be reversed. Now, if you were to go to an allopathic doctor, and I have met several, they cannot reverse a fatty liver. As a friend of mine told me, Mr. Gupta, we do not have a pill for that. So in allopathy, and if you go to most hospitals or medical practices, you will either be prescribed a pill or a surgery, and there is no pill for a fatty liver. But through simple and easy natural processes, you can reverse a fatty liver. As a matter of fact, it's one of the easiest things to do. How do you know if you have reversed a fatty liver? The best way for that would be an ultrasound or a fibroscan. So a fibroscan is something that looks like this and gives a digital number for your liver health. Blood tests are also indicative, but scans are much better because you almost see the organs. A fatty liver in early stage is fairly easy to reverse. The more advanced it gets, the more time it's going to take, the harder it will be. In early stages, it can almost be done effortlessly. And most people don't even know they have a fatty liver. So an early detection of this condition will be most advantageous to not having to put in a lot of effort and being healthy. Why do you need to fix a fatty liver? So the liver is the largest single organ in your body, the single intact organ. So your gut might be large, your skin is large, but as one single piece, it is the largest organ in your metabolic processes. So you need to have a healthy liver. The liver is involved in lots of functions of your body, converting glucose to fat, converting fat back to glucose, creating lots of hormones. So you want a healthy liver to keep everything else working well. A fatty liver, if not taken care of, can get acute, and it will be called acute liver failure. So you don't want to get there. And if the root cause is not treated, it progressively gets worse. So that's why you want to treat it just so that you simply don't get worse, if that is the reason. Or more importantly, it is the largest metabolic organ in the body. Why is fatty liver exploding? You might say, why, Junior, are you here talking to me about this? The reason I'm talking to you about it is that fatty liver is exploding. And it used to be that fatty liver was associated with alcohol. A lot of alcohol consumption was associated as the leading cause for liver damage. Alcohol still causes liver damage, but fatty liver today is being caused by our lifestyle and our food. So whether it is because it's a desk job or a sedentary life, we cannot pinpoint on that, but we do see that the excess amount of carbohydrates is causing fatty liver. A lot of women, especially that I know, that have never had any alcohol in their life, are all suffering from fatty liver, and they never knew about it. Fatty liver is connected to diabetes. So as we see diabetes explode, we do see fatty liver explode. And I think fatty liver is also connected a lot to packaged food. So I have a small sample in my hand, but you'll get honey, you'll get ketchup like these. And a lot of these have high fructose corn syrup. A lot of packaged dry items also have high fructose corn syrup. And fructose can only be processed in the liver. So an excessive amount of fructose is putting a lot more load on our liver while we are having a more sedentary life, and pollution and God knows everything else, but this is definitely a big factor. How can you fix your liver? What are some of the main steps in fixing a fatty liver? One of the main thing is changing the carb types. So are you having a lot of simple carbs? Are you having a lot of things that are going to create a big sugar spike in your body? Because at that time the liver is trying to convert that sugar into glucose, and if there's a lot of glucose, some of that glucose is not expelled out fast enough as fat. So the glucose gets converted to fat and is sent out back in the body. But if that doesn't happen fast enough, your liver is also getting fattened up. It's also having a lot of fructose, so too much fruit or too much with food that have fructose. That is very harmful, and cutting that down is going to be an important part. Reading food labels. So why do I call reading food labels important if you want to fix your liver? Because the label will tell you if it has a lot of sugar or if it has a lot of syrup. Certain diets are going to be very good for a fatty liver. Keto diet should be very good for a fatty liver. Vegan, we have seen, is extremely good for fatty liver. Low carb should be good for fatty liver. And intermittent fasting and not eating for long periods of time will allow your liver to reduce the fat in the bodies. And also having a nutritionally dense diet. A nutritionally dense diet allows your body to get the spare parts to repair itself. How can you fix your liver? The first step will be changing your carbohydrate types. If you are having a lot of simple carbs, which is the processed stuff, Maggi, desserts, donuts, reducing those will be very important. But if you are having too much carbohydrates, that will also be important. So when I look at my Marwadi and Agarwal communities, we have a lot of carbohydrates. And so reducing carbohydrates will be very important if you want to reduce the fatty liver or stop the progression. Reading your food labels. And now why do I say that? So there is more and more of this hidden inside packaged food, syrup. It's very easy to mix into, let's say, some kind of a funky chips and turn that chips into any shape, twists, rolls, triangles, and you eat it. But then they use syrup in that, and syrup is cheaper. So syrup is even found in cookies and biscuits. So reading labels and avoiding ketchup, reading labels and avoiding things that have syrup is going to go a big ways towards a hidden culprit for your fatty liver. Dietary protocols will help in fatty liver and are very important. Ketogenic diet should help with fatty liver. Vegan diet has helped. Low carb diets. Having a good dietary regimen that changes your eating pattern and what you eat. Cuts out the carbs, changes the carbs, and intermittent fasting along with this is extremely powerful. I have also seen in some cases doctor advising not to eat fats. As far as we know, fat consumption does not cause fatty liver. So that is incorrect from our knowledge, and if you have any inputs on that, please put it in the comments below. Action items. These are points you should have in your reversal process. So first is knowing your parameters, knowing your baseline. So central obesity is highly linked to fatty liver. Knowing what your waist is at the belly button is going to be the first parameter. Your blood tests, SGPT, SGOT are parameters that we look. HOMA-IR is the blood test for insulin resistance. HOMA-IR, check that. Your fasting glucose is a very good parameter for liver health. And getting this, I'll link a card on what this test is, but getting this fibroscan done is extremely important. A fatty liver is not directly linked to obesity, but there is a very strong correlation. So if you are obese, you want to track these parameters. Set a goal if possible. What do you want to achieve within 4 weeks? What do you want to achieve within 12 weeks? Set the time you will spend, set the budget. So setting a goal, allocating time and allocating budget, that is the basics for this. It doesn't matter if your plan is the best, but if you set the best goals and allocate the right time, you will be heading in the right direction. Now, what is the best strategy? So if you're setting a goal and you're giving your time, I also want to tell you what is the best strategy. this is all my experience based. You need to get a good guide. You need to know someone who is comfortable with telling you what to do. If you're trying to figure it all by yourself, you'll be learning from your own mistakes and wasting a lot of time in that. Or you can consider buying a good book and reading that. There's lots of books out there. Of course, I've spent countless hours and years reading books. I don't think that's a realistic plan for a lot of people, so get a guide. Are you one who should get your liver health checked? In my experience, I have found few people who knew their liver health. I've even had people diabetic for over 20 years and all kinds of doctors never knowing that they had a fatty liver. So are you one who should get your liver checked? I think if these criteria apply to you, you should, because it is non-invasive and it should be done. If your BMI is over 25, then you should consider getting your liver checked. If your waist is over, your pant size is over 38, you should consider getting your liver checked. The larger you are, the older you are, the more likely you have a fatty liver. So anyone over 50 with a high obesity has a greater chance of having a fatty liver than somebody who's 25. And diabetics are very likely to have a fatty liver as well. We see a strong relation between insulin resistance, fatty liver, and diabetes. So diabetics should also get their liver health checked. I hope you found this video helpful and that it will give you some tips, some basic tips around diabetes reversal. If it did, please do hit like and subscribe.